Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, May 30, 2023. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is seeking to expand its partnership with the church to build more schools in Jamaica. Mr. Holness says the aim is to enforce values-based education in the society after recognizing a transition in the country's foundational values.
I believe that the church can play and is playing a very important role in fortifying the society and in ensuring that there isn't a total collapse of the moral base of the society. So today, I want to use this opportunity to commend the church in as much as I'm asking for the church to see if more can be done to protect and support our Jamaican civilization.
Mr. Holness was speaking at the 2023 Pentecost Assembly hosted by the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Kingston at the National Arena on Sunday. According to the Prime Minister, the country's education system is not as bad as some would portray, adding that there are schools that continue to produce world-leading talent.
Even as society becomes modernized and take on agnostic views, being grounded in a faith-based educational outlook is still powerful and valuable in today's world. To be morally anchored is still valuable in today's world.
Jamaica and United States-based firm Georgia Aquarium have signed an agreement to explore opportunities in the blue economy. The Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, was signed by Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Auburn Hill, during a two-day trade visit to Atlanta last week. Under the MOU, commercial cooperation will facilitate the purchase of ornamental fish for both Jamaica and the United States. In addition, Georgia Aquarium will work with the government of Jamaica to assist in skills and capacity training and development. This is to support aquatic sustainability, including animal care and life support systems. Both parties will also work towards the protection of important marine areas through the establishment of fish sanctuaries in Jamaica. Also, Georgia Aquarium will work with the government of Jamaica to conduct research and education on sharks towards the possible establishment of a shark sanctuary on the island. An exchange program is also being looked at to facilitate the exchange of students and early career professionals. This will widen exposure to relevant training programs and environments in the USA and Jamaica. And finally, both parties will work towards the establishment of a Port Royal exhibition at the Georgia Aquarium, which will highlight Port Royal and the marine protected areas. Jamaica's Tourism Workers Pension Scheme is set to become a model for other Caribbean countries. Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett says the adoption of the pension scheme was part of discussions with regional leaders at the recent 41st Caribbean Travel Marketplace held in Barbados. He says while this will require significant capital startup for the more than 1 million workers in the sector across the region, the long-term benefits are worthwhile.
And if that pension plan is taken across the region in the way that Jamaica has it, the potential to create a level of domestic savings, the size of which the region would never have seen, and would provide now a pool of funds that are low-cost funds owned by the people of the Caribbean for investment in the Caribbean so that the monies that return from that stays in the Caribbean for the building of the wealth of the Caribbean.
The tourism minister was delivering the keynote address at the recent Hall of Fame induction dinner of the 34th Sales Congress of the Caribbean Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. Minister Bartlett is calling for the insurance sector to develop travel insurance for tourists and comprehensive health plans for tourism workers.
That's my second challenge to you, to craft an instrument that will enable a health security insurance arrangement for the workers of the tourism industry in the Caribbean.
Citizens are again being encouraged to utilize appropriate conflict resolution measures. The appeal is being made by Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck as he emphasizes that resorting to violence only escalates situations.
There's no reason for us to be using rage, abuses, threats, violence and sometimes fatal violence to solve our problems. Far too many Jamaicans feel that unless they deliver the last lick, that there's no justice. So they use violence. They employ gunmen. They employ violence producers to resolve conflicts.
The minister was addressing a Legal Aid Council Justice Fair in St. Anne's Bay on Friday. He points out that using violence as a solution also causes an unfortunate cycle of conflict, which often affects families.
It cannot be the way to solve your problem. Indeed, trying to use violence to solve problems create more problems than you actually intend and want to resolve. Because an act of violence oftentimes attracts retaliation. And there's a cycle of violence when it is used. So before any Jamaican believe that they can solve their problem using violence, bear in mind you're attracting more violence to you, your families, and loved ones.
He's also encouraging persons to utilize the ministry's various services, such as restorative justice and child diversion. And finally, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, has released the first 10,000 batch of new 658 area code numbers to local telecommunications companies. Acting Director of Consumer and Public Affairs at the OUR, Elizabeth Bennett Marsh, says telecoms providers will begin distribution of the new area code once all numbers under the 876 code are exhausted.
So the OUR is reminding everyone, including business operators and advertisers, to ensure that the 10-digit format is being used in their publishing, their display of all their local and all their local mobile and landline numbers using the correct area code. With the 658 numbers to be distributed shortly, it means that their 7-digit number will exist under the 658 number, and the only distinction will be the area code. So it's very important for them to start doing so.
Mrs. Bennett Marsh says it is also important for persons to start including the 876 area code when saving numbers to the contact list in their phones. The OUR says the new area code 658 has been in place since 2018. Data from the agency at that time indicated that the new area code would provide more than 7 million additional numbers for the next decade. Meanwhile, the 876 area code, which has been in existence since 1996, was expected to provide sufficient numbering capacity for the next 20 years of demand growth. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.